I'm now joined by 2025 Taft defensive lineman Drayden Pavey. Drayden is currently rated as an 86 by 247 Sports, the number 30 player in the state of Ohio. Drayden's getting interest early on from Kentucky, West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Purdue, among others. Drayden, welcome into the show.
What's up?
So I first thing I got to ask you, man, is you're listed at 6'3", 305, 6'3" you're every bit of, but are you really 305?
No,
Because you
I was
don't.
when we were in camp season, I was around 295, 300. But whenever they weighed me at 305, I think it was at a camp, and that's what they just put on like all of my stuff. But I was at
Okay.
UC, I weighed in at 288. So
Okay. Is that a weight you're comfortable playing at, or is there a
yeah,
weight that coaches want you at the next level?
yeah. All the coaches that I've talked to have wanted me at the same weight that I'm at now. So
Yeah. So what's this recruiting process been like so far for you? You know, you hit the camp circuit throughout the summer, now you're into your junior season, you're getting all this interest. What's it been like for you?
it's definitely been exciting. A lot of like emotion and other things have like ran through. It's definitely like one of the things I look forward to.
Yeah. So you enjoy the recruiting process then?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like the attention and
Hmm.
all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get it, man. You were on UC's campus last night, well, Saturday night for the battle for the victory bell against Miami. Just what was your thoughts on the overall atmosphere?
The atmosphere was crazy. It was definitely the student section was probably the best thing about it.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the game? Obviously, Cincinnati took a tough L, but any thoughts on the game?
It was tough. I mean, after that first play, it was definitely a tough game for them.
Yeah.
It was a good game though.
Yeah, man. It just came down to a couple plays. Couldn't convert in
Mhm.
the red zone. So Coach Stewart is your lead recruiter. What's that relationship like with him?
We have a great relationship. We talk on a daily basis. We text, call. He calls me after my games, texts me before, tells me good luck. He definitely shows a lot of support.
Is there any extra meaning to you knowing that Coach Stewart played at Cincinnati? He understands the blood, sweat, and tears that go into that program.
Oh yeah, he definitely. I mean, he understands how the program works. He's been involved with the program for like a long time, so it definitely gives a little bit of help knowing the backstory of UC and how everything played out for him.
Right. Yeah. So looking at Coach Brian Brown, obviously they transitioned to a little bit different scheme this year. One constant theme that I've heard from current players is just the freedom that the defensive line has within Brian Brown's scheme. Did you notice that when watching the game last night? And how has Coach Stewart told you would fit into that scheme?
Coach Stewart basically told me I'd be doing the same thing that Dante is doing. We were talking a day before a camp, and we were like watching film and everything, and they had him lined up at like middle linebacker covering, like just covering, and like that's definitely something I'm interested in. So
Yeah. Are there any NFL? I know you're not much of an NFL guy, but are there any guys at the next level that you kind of try to model your game after?
Chris Jones, my power definitely Aaron Donald. There's a couple people I look up to.
Yeah. So who is Drayden Pavey on and off the field? How would you describe yourself as a player and as a person?
On the field, um, I definitely I can get into my head a little bit. I talk a lot of mess on the field.
Yeah.
Um, pretty much like nobody can stop me on the field. Technically, like there's nobody that can block me. Off the field, I'd say I'm a great student. I'm a chill person. I don't really talk much. That's what it is. My life's surrounded by football. That's all I do for real.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were originally over here in Northern Kentucky at Cooper.
Mhm.
What was that transition like going from Cooper to Taft with the competition obviously ramping up a little bit?
It was a big change. The competition and like the love for football at Cooper is it's not really at the same level that Taft is. Taft is a sport surrounded school. Like everybody there knows what's going on in the sports life. It's it's definitely different.
So Cincinnati has a commit that's a teammate of yours, Quentin Price. Has he been in your ear at all about your recruitment and coming to UC?
Yeah, we talk. There's a lot of people on the field or like on our team that are committed. Uh, Kwani's committed. He talks a lot about West V. Quentin talks about UC every day. Talks about me getting up there a lot more. So he's definitely in my ear about it.
So speaking of West Virginia, I gotta ask, man, you were originally scheduled to visit West Virginia this past weekend, but you canceled that and ended up visiting Cincinnati instead. What went into that decision?
Just a lot of planning. It was more convenient for the drive, obviously. Me and my dad sat down and talked about it. He just said, I think, or like we sat down and basically said that UC is like it's closer, and they're showing more love right now. So that's just what it is. Like if you show them more love, I'm a pop out to wherever.
So one of the common themes that I've heard with this staff is just the genuine relationships that they're building with commits and recruits. Have you noticed that with the rest of the staff outside of Coach Stu?
Oh yeah, they all show a tremendous amount of love. All of them sit down, they talk to you, have genuine conversations with you. So they're definitely looking to build relationships with everybody that they're recruiting.
Right. Yeah. So being a junior, you're obviously getting ready to take junior days at some point this upcoming year. Do you have any other visits scheduled throughout your junior season?
I know we'll probably go up to Louisville, Kentucky, an Illinois game. We'll definitely head up to a West V game, and there's a couple others me and my dad haven't decided on yet.
So let's talk a little bit about the teams that are looking at you the most right now. We'll list each team and kind of give your thoughts on each team. So obviously we hit on Cincinnati and what you like about them. What about Purdue? What is it about Purdue that stands out to you?
They have great coaches, at least like the ones that I talk to. Um, I talk to a lot of coaches from there. They text me pretty much daily, asking if I can come up there. They have great facilities. The culture of Purdue is crazy. The atmosphere, like within the games, from like what I've heard, is crazy. It's a great place.
So what about Pittsburgh? That's another school that's kind of after you hard.
Pittsburgh, I don't really talk to them as much, but they come and go. Like they text me probably like 3 times a week, so it's not as consistent as Purdue and UC is. But my teammate that plays there, he said it's great. He loves the coaches, the atmosphere. He said the facilities and everything around it is crazy. I haven't taken a visit up there yet, so I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll
Yeah.
definitely go see.
What about West Virginia?
West Virginia is crazy. West Virginia, the love they show is crazy. Um, we went up there for an unofficial visit with Kwani, and I was a guest. They offered me on the spot as soon as they see me. Obviously, like they had watched a little bit of film, but I had
Right.
walked in, they automatically started talking to me. So they showed love like automatically, which I really like appreciate coming from a junior. Like I wouldn't expect to get that offer so soon. And it was one of my first. It was like within my first 5 offers too. So
So lastly, Kentucky hasn't offered yet, but they're another school that you mentioned you plan on visiting. What's that relationship like with them?
we went up there for a visit. I've seen all of the facility. I watched the practice. The energy was crazy. We talked to a couple of coaches. They're real cool. They definitely show a lot of love. It's a great place. I definitely look forward to visiting up there again.
So when looking at the list of schools that are recruiting you, Cincinnati was the first to offer you among those group of schools. Does that have any extra meaning to you being like the hometown school?
I mean, it definitely shows that they care, that they want to be out there first, just so they can build a better relationship with me than anybody else can. It definitely shows that like they want me to be there.
Do you have a timeline as far as like when you'd like to make a decision and what you want to do next summer as far as camp circuit and visits?
I think like me and my dad still have to sit down and talk about that because me and him handle all like the recruiting and all
Right.
that. We were thinking like at like mid off season of my going into my senior year when I'll make that commitment. Probably after camp season. So yeah.
So, I know your dad a little bit. We played football together in high school, grew up together. Has Dad told you stories about, like Pike to Benz and all the UC stuff from
Yeah.
when he was growing up and at the same age as you?
Yeah. He's like UC since he was like little. He talks about him every day.
Yeah. Well, Drayden, I appreciate you coming on with us, man. We're definitely looking forward to getting to know you better and covering the rest of your season. Speaking of, how's your junior season going so far? How are you guys doing on the field?
Pretty well. We've had a couple injuries, just like minor injuries. Elias might be out for the season, so that might be a little bit of a setback. But other than that, we're doing pretty well. We had a tough game week 3, I think it was. Yeah, week 3. They were just a real good team. We didn't come together as a team and like fight adversity well enough.
So I got to ask one last question. Seeing you last night as we're talking, there's a bunch of different guys coming up to you, dapping you up and everything. Do you kind of embrace that leadership role and people looking up to you?
Yeah, I definitely do. They definitely like when I'm sitting there and somebody just walks up to me. I definitely appreciate that because it's obvious they know who I am. Like they know what's going on. So
Well, good luck the rest of the season, man. Like I said, we definitely appreciate you coming on, and I'm sure I'll see you at a game or around some other time soon. So we'll talk again soon.
yes, sir.
Sounds good. This has been Drayden Pavey and Ryan Roberts with the At Large Bid Bearcats podcast.